Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Rob's Movie Reviews. This week I'm going to continue with the holiday themed reviews, and we're going to talk about the 2003 Christmas comedy Bad Santa. It stars Billy Bob Thornton, Lauren Graham, John Ritter, and Bernie Mac. This is a hilarious movie, but at this point, right now, I want to go ahead and make it clear that this is not a movie for everyone. This is a very adult oriented humor. It's very dark humor. There's a lot of profanity in this film. So it's definitely not a family Christmas movie by any stretch of the imagination. But the film is about Willie, played by Billy Bob Thornton, who teams up with a dwarf named Marcus that's played by Tony Cox. And their scam is that every year around Christmas time, they go to a different shopping mall in different states and they get jobs. Of course, Billy Bob plays the role of the mall Santa, and Marcus is his dwarf that helps him with the children. But their real scam is that while they're playing this role, Marcus is the brains of the operation, and he gets the layout of the mall and figures out how to disarm the mall's cameras and security systems so that on Christmas Eve they can break into the mall after it closes. And while Willie is busy cracking open the mall's safe so that they can steal all the cash on hand, Marcus and his wife are busy going through the mall and stealing as much jewelry and expensive electronics that they can get their hands on. And this is a scam that they've been running for many years. And in the story of this film, we can see that Willie's beginning to tire of doing this. He's contemplating getting out, and it's at this time that he meets a young boy by the name of Thurman Merman. That's a great name. I love it. But Thurman is not a particularly bright little boy. However, we quickly learn that he has a heart of gold. And when Willie finds out that Thurman lives alone with only his grandmother, that his father is in prison, he invites himself over and basically makes himself at home, living in the house. And of course, this is just perfect for Thurman. He's got Santa living with him, so he's loving it. And of course, at first Willie is just using Thurman. But as the film progresses, we begin to see that he actually is starting to develop feelings and caring for Thurman. He cares about his well-being, and he cares about his grandmother as well. And also, Willie meets and befriends a bartender played by Lauren Graham, who ends up becoming his romantic interest in the film. Now, little to Willie and Marcus's knowledge, the head of security at the mall is on to them. He's played by Bernie Mac, and he starts running background checks and finding out as much as he can about these two, because actually he intends to scam them. And his scam is that if they don't want to go to jail, they have to cut him in for half of everything they take. And that's the deal he offers them. Well, when we get toward the climax of the film, Willie has decided that this is it. He doesn't want to do this anymore. And he wants to kind of take care of Thurman while his father's in prison, take care of Thurman and his grandmother. And Lauren Graham, his character, is also down with this idea. She kind of wants to help him do it too. And he does this one last heist. But what he doesn't realize is that Marcus and his wife intend to kill him at the when this heist is over with, because they also have noticed the change in him. And even though they try to blame it off on saying that his alcoholism has gotten worse because he is a terrible alcoholic. I didn't bring that up, but Willie is a horrendous alcoholic, and he's a sex crazed maniac too, as you'll find out if you watch this film, and I hope you do. But they blame it all on that, but I think the underlying thing there is that they can see he's having a change of heart, and they're afraid that he might turn them in or do something to double cross them. So before he can, they're going to double cross him and kill him. Now, earlier in the film, on a particularly bad day, Willie is contemplating killing himself, and he writes a letter that he gives to Thurman and tells him that when the police and the coroner come to collect his body, to please give the letter to the police. Well, we find out that Thurman snuck a peek at this letter. He's pretty much known all along what Willie was all about, but he didn't care because he really likes Willie and actually really believes that he's Santa. So when Willie leaves on Christmas Eve to go to the mall, Thurman calls the police and informs them. And right as Marcus and his wife are about to kill Willie, the police show up and foil their plans. Unfortunately, in the chase that ensues afterwards, Willie gets shot several times by the police, and he's in the hospital recovering as the movie ends. And since he was unarmed and the police shot a man dressed as Santa in front of several children, the state decides to drop all charges against him if he'll testify against Marcus and his wife. So that's basically the gist of the whole movie. It's hilarious. Like I said, it's a very dark, very adult-oriented comedy. It's not a family film. It was released in 2003. It's was made on a budget of $23 million. It did a $76.5 million box office, so it was a very successful film. And it's a good time. If you're looking for a good holiday film after you put the kids to bed, something you can get a real good laugh out of, and you're not offended by a lot of profanity and sexual innuendos, this is definitely a hoot of a movie to watch. I highly recommend it for adults. And with that, I'm going to wrap up this review. And until next time, you all take care.